Possible has really emerged as one of the premier conferences in such a short time. I really do feel it brings the best minds that this industry has to offer all together. So I'm really hoping, at least from the CTV side, transparency and the utilization of more data signals in CTV is a topic of discussion, and that there is an emergence of companies at the event who are kind of leading the way and leveraging those signals that are available in CTV currently to allow media buyers to buy it more efficiently and intelligently.
So talk to me a little bit about transparency. What can the industry do to provide better visibility into where CTV ads go?
Yeah, no, absolutely. The transparency challenge in CTV right now really is truly a challenge because as more and more advertisers are starting to lean into it, it's no longer just the big branding advertisers buying CTV who are optimizing to more of those vanity type metrics like viewability, reach, video completion rates. These performance advertisers are trying to drive high value business outcomes, sales, site visits, leads. And to do that effectively, especially in the traditional performance manner, you really need to have full visibility into what you're buying and what you're delivering against, and then being able to tie outcomes to that delivery. So when you're buying CTV and you don't have visibility into what channels, what shows, what networks you're getting, it makes it really hard to optimize to performance and drive the outcomes that brands want, right? So you're kind of stuck doing these kind of blinded media buys where if it works out, great, let's put more money in. But if it doesn't work out, it kind of leaves you at a loss because you can't really improve the efficacy of the buy because you don't know exactly what's working and what's not. So to me at least, transparency really benefits not just the media buyers, but it also benefits the publishers and the tech companies involved. Because ultimately, when media buyers know what works, they can push their budgets into that, right? And also cut out the waste at the same time. If they don't know what works and it's just not working for them, they'll pull their budgets and go back to the Meta and the Googles of the world where they have greater confidence.
For Rain the Growth Agency, what are some of the strategies for audience engagement?
Yeah, so every advertiser that we work with is a performance-based advertiser, right? So they're all leaning on us to drive outcomes and growth for their business that is also measurable, right? So for us, it starts with how are we measuring those outcomes, right? So we tap into third-party independent attribution vendors like iSpot, like Innovid, to really give us that baseline performance read against which we optimize, right? And because we're ultimately measuring those high-value business outcomes like sales and leads and site visits, ultimately it's for us tying back at the publisher level, which publishers are driving that performance, and then optimizing into those publishers while optimizing out of publishers that aren't necessarily working. We've also developed custom algorithms, which we've kind of set ourselves apart from. And one of those custom algorithms, which was covered in Ad Exchanger a month ago, was doing show level buying. So we were able to match signals within the bid stream on vMVPD providers like Spectrum, where those signals are offered. So we were able to match back network channel, time of day, and zip code to airings data from Nielsen Grace Note, which tells us what geos, what times, what channels and networks shows are being run on. So we're able to probabilistically match those shows back to the bid signals coming through in the metadata, and then probabilistically buy into the shows we believe that the signals are showing are going to be airing, right? And what we do is we know based on our linear buys, linear has always been a very transparent channel. You know, you buy at the show level, you know exactly where you're at, when your ad's going to run. You can validate your ads running by tuning in. So we know what shows on linear work. So when we buy into those same shows on CTV, performance engagement is significantly more impactful than it is on just a general CTV media buy when we're buying just run of network in a blinded fashion. So we've already proven out that transparency drives performance.
Are there any innovations or tools that can assess success for CTV advertising that are coming?
Yeah, so we're close partners with Chalice Custom Algorithms. And for us, they're able to take performance data, they're able to understand conversions, tie those conversions back to all the various metadata signals passed in the bid stream, such as channel, zip code, time of day, and then essentially optimize into the signals that over-index for performance, right? So if we know that Hulu in New York City at 7 p.m. drives better performance than, let's just say, another publisher in Florida at 2 p.m., the algorithm will push spend into Hulu at 7 p.m. in New York City because we know that there's a higher probability of conversion within that bucket of inventory. So it's really using AI to understand the data in a way that a human could never granularly understand, and then in real time optimize our media buys to buy against those signals. So ultimately, the more metadata signals that are available to us that we could tie back to conversions, the more effective our algorithms are in optimizing.
What are you excited about this year?
So this year has already been a very interesting year for the industry, I'd say. What I'm most excited about is I feel like there's a transparency and media quality reckoning happening right now, where advertisers and media buyers are really starting to care more finally about buying more premium, better quality media, willing to potentially pay a little bit higher CPMs, no longer falling into that race to the bottom that has really captured our industry on the programmatic side for the past 10 years, I'd say, right? Kind of moving away from that general work stream. So the reason I'm excited for that around all this is, even though there might be some, unpleasant things coming up, stuff that people don't really want to face because it might make their job harder, but ultimately I'm excited because the industry will come out better for it in the long term. And ultimately, I think, as we're all stewards of this industry, and it's on us to ensure that we're moving in the right direction and pushing it forward. So I feel like this year specifically will be a year where the industry moves further than it has in the past 10 years, I'd say.